This is Matt Lenihan, I'll do the intros, mate. Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. We're here, Sam Jones, in a gym that's thriving at the minute. Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis down here. Such a good stable of fighters. We're going to start at the top end with Jack Catterall as his fight's coming up. Bit of a delay, but not caused him any harm, ironed out, injuries that he's had, and he's ready to go. He looks in great shape today.
Well, it's in the first time in his whole career he's ever pulled out with an injury, so he was getting a bit of teased by Jamie and Nige, but yeah, it was legit, and it was very necessary. And look, it's unfortunate to Regis and the whole event and stuff that it couldn't go on that the original date, but we are where we are. We're very grateful to Matchroom to reschedule it so quickly. And we'll look all focused now in a couple of weeks' time to October the 26th.
There's not really any sort of beef between these two. It's quite straight down the middle. Regis been there, done it. Multi-time world champion, a terrific fighter. Jack wants to get where Regis has been. It's that sort of fight where I think it makes for a terrific fight. What did you make? Regis come out with some comments about the drug testing in this fight, saying, "Look, I've only been tested once." I don't think he was necessarily saying or accusing anyone of bet. But what do you make of them comments? Like almost saying, "Look, can we get more tests happening and things like that?"
Like whether he's not sure about himself, I don't know. Like, or he's worried, but Jack's had 4 tests in total so far.
So more than him?
A lot more, yeah, a lot more. But look, Regis is a clean fighter, Jack's a clean fighter, and that's all that matters.
Co-op Arena, the first sort of.
Looking forward to it.
You must be as a manager, agent, whatever sort of title you give yourself these days. You must be sitting there going, you know what, it's been a good year. You managed to get Jack there. Oh, finally that rematch with Josh Taylor, and now he's a legitimate headliner. And to do it at an arena like this, it's some statement. It must be like for yourself, like you look and go, we're doing a good job.
Yeah, look, I always wanted to. That's why the Taylor fight was so important. Like that night, I don't know whether you remember the ring walk to that fight. It was the best ring walk I've been at.
Benny King entrance, yeah.
Yeah, Benny King entrance. It was absolutely unbelievable. Even Josh's entrance, the whole night was fantastic, wasn't it? And the atmosphere was great, and it felt really that feel-good British boxing. We're back kind of thing. This is unbelievable. That's how it felt to me anyway. It's pretty different because I was a part of it, but when you see the atmosphere was unbelievable. And then look, we're hoping that be another good atmosphere for Jack against Prograis, but. Yeah, I'm very proud of the job I've done, but ultimately, I owe everything to Jack because it was he's put his trust into me to guide his career, and I think I've repaid him, or we're repaying him as we repaying him. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Cameron Vuong. I'm going to talk about this. As soon as that fight got made, my phone went off going, "That's a good step up." Yeah. I went, "It's one of them fights where you don't see someone who's had the same amount of fights he has," but then. When you look, I was speaking to Jamie about this, when you look at a Usyk-Fury, I think records can be deceiving. He's a potential banana skin for anyone who's not on the game, and although he lost maybe a round, a few rounds, he still won the fight comfortably. But a good fight for him, and this the same. This is another step up.
Cameron, was the Usyk-Fury fight a 10-rounder? It was a 10. Yeah. So yeah, that's how. So from I thought Cameron banked pretty much all of the rounds until probably maybe the last 3. So I think with that experience, that's the type of fight where, look, he's had it all his own way from the beginning. Like, he's looked brilliant. Everyone said, "Oh, brilliant he's looked." And when after the Fury fight, "Oh, he's overrated." That's how people are. They're all fickle. Yeah, they're all fickle. Oh, but I'm telling you, not many people. Very rarely do you look good against Usyk-Fury. And I just think that 10-round experience, because if that was a 4-round fight, people would be like, "My God, Sugar Ray Leonard." He was unbelievable, wasn't he, Cam? He pinged him for 4 rounds. But because it's a 10-rounder, listen to it. Yeah, because I've not told him about the last 3 rounds where you weren't the best, so we weren't getting. So but those rounds there, if we had made that fight a 6, people would be like, "Wow, this kid's incredible." But because it was a 10-rounder, and early on in his career, people were like, "Oh, he's overrated." But no. Look at the fights Cameron's having. And all we were saying, me and Jamie were talking about it there. Put some respect on this kid's name now, because his 7th fight, he's fighting a former British, Commonwealth and European champion who's always notoriously in the best shape. He's got a good engine. He's tried and tested. He's game as fuck. He's a great fighter, Gavin Gwynne. He's a solid fighter. But that shows the belief we have in Cam.
Well, when you look at what Gavin Gwynne's done in his career, and look, we all know at the time maybe Sean McCombs picked up and whatever was wrong with him that night, but he did a number on Sean McComb. Sean McComb's gone on and got let's have it right, he got robbed in a fight against Barboza, and that he should be kicking on now to fight for a world title. So he's fighting someone of that ilk. But you find in boxing, it's like everyone's like, oh, it's a silly fight to take, but if he doesn't take that fight, then there's the flip side of it of why are we putting him in with him? So you can never win, can you?
You can never win in boxing, honestly. Like why is he fighting a Latvian with 8 losses? Like, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, he's over it. Oh, yeah, I don't want to watch this shit. Oh, but when we put him with Gavin Gwynne, oh, it's too soon. Gavin Gwynne, what's that? You can't win with boxing. Honestly, you can't. You cannot win in boxing. So all you have to do is do what you believe is right for the fighter. Myself and Jamie Moore and Cameron, and Nigel, we believe this fight is right for Cameron. We believe he's more than capable than doing a right job on Gavin Gwynne. However, Gavin Gwynne is a fantastic fighter, and we don't expect it to just be some blowout victory. We think Cameron's going to have to work hard in certain stages in that fight. So we expect the best version of Gavin Gwynne.
Another one of your young fighters sort of took centre stage at a press conference. I really didn't think it was going to be him that was the bit of a talking point. But Hamzah Uddin, in the sort of few fights we've seen, very exciting. Backs himself completely. I remember the first interview I had with him, and I thought, if you can fight like you can talk, you're going to be some fighter. And we're seeing it early on, but him and Sonny Edwards going back and forth for good fun on it. Let's be honest.
Sonny can bring that out of anybody, can't he? Like, that's just Sonny's personality. He knows what he's doing, Sonny. It was good fun. It's good for Hamzah's profile. I mean, the views Hamzah gets in his fights are ridiculous as well. Like, he's always the most talked about. Whenever he's on a show, everyone's talking about Hamzah Uddin, and that's the way it's going to continue. Hamzah's going to be on top table in the centre stage very, very soon, but it's going to be at our pace when we believe the time's right and when the money's right, because I honestly believe Hamzah's going to be a multi-weight world champion. I really do. I really, really do believe that in my heart of hearts. I think he's a special, gifted talent. And we won't fight anybody for not the right money or at the wrong time. He's had 2 fights. He's coming off the back of a hand injury. Like, Sonny wanted Hamzah to fight his current English champion, which we will fight, no problem. But when we want to fight, when we want to do the fight on our terms. So he's fighting Ben Norman, who's a Midlands area champion at the moment. That's very respectable in your 3rd fight. If you look at some of the other flyweights who they boxed in their 3rd fights, nowhere near it. So Hamzah Uddin, Ben Norman, November the 30th.
A lot of new signings. Some we won't talk about now because there'll be some in the offing, and this interview I want to go out today. So, but I know there's. Is there any sort of more other than the 2 that I'm already aware of?
No. I'm signing 2. I've signed 2 more, two fighters. That's that for me. I know I say this, but but I'll have 11 fighters then. 10, 11 fighters. That's enough for me. I put all my time into them, but I do believe I've got the best stable in Great Britain.
You'd be hard pressed to argue it.
Especially with the new additions as well.
Look, I want to talk about this weekend just quickly. Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev. For many, especially the hardcores, they're probably, if not one of the best fights in boxing to be made. Well, give me your opinion.
Nights like this, Matt, honestly. And this is the fanboy in me. This is me being the armchair boxing fan. So listen, right? I've been planning what I'm ordering as a takeaway since maybe Sunday of last week. What could I order for food on that night? Because I want either a Chinese, and then I want a Heavenly Dessert, shout out Heavenly Desserts, after that with some Nutella crepes or something like that. I've been planning it because all I can think of, when these cards are on, these Riyadh season cards, where every fight's a good fight, I'm locked in. That's me. I'm locked in till midnight, whatever the fuck time it finishes. That's me. I cannot wait for the whole card. Honestly, I cannot wait. Fraser Clark against Wardley. Wow. I get so excited. Honestly, I'm so excited for these fights.
What do you think of the main event, though? I know it's a hard one to call, but what's your honest opinion?
Matt, honestly, my opinions change constantly. Originally, I thought Bivol. Straight away Bivol. And then ever since then, I thought, Beterbiev is a fucking beast. He's going to walk him down, he's going to smash him to pieces and probably stop him late. But then just part of me thinks, this fucker has to get old sooner or later.
Everyone keeps saying this. Yeah, but...
And then when I started seeing him doing them wrist handstands in the ring the other day, I thought, my God, this guy's a freak. But I'm going for Bivol again on points. I'm going for Bivol on a majority points decision. That's what I'm going for. My mind will change probably before Saturday again, and I'll probably go back to Beterbiev.
Wardley Clark, obviously pick up where we left off round 13. What a fight. What a fight.
It's so hard. I like both guys. It's so hard. I edged towards Fraser this time because I believe Fraser's experience from the last fight, he will have picked up more than what... I don't know. Honestly, the answer to that is... I really don't know, but if I was pushed, I would say Fraser. I'd just favour Fraser in that fight.
Fury Usyk undercard announced. Good undercard, you know. Interesting. Even when you look at the return of Lee McGregor back into the fold against Isaac Lowe, it's a good fight to kick off the night, isn't it?
I got so much stick when I posted all of these fights are main events, right? So what I mean is when I say main events, Lee McGregor against Isaac Lowe is a Channel 5 Wasserman fight night, whether it's in Bolton, Scotland, or wherever. So just so all these people understand, that fight is a main event fight. I'm not saying it's going to sell 30,000 tickets, but it's a Saturday night or Friday night main event. That's a fact. Johnny Fisher against Dave Allen, everyone going, oh, that's not a main event. Let me tell you now, as a categoric fact, if that fight's not in Saudi Arabia, it's a headline at the Copper Box. Fact. There's another one. That's another main event. Dennis McCann against Peter McGrail. I'm not saying that fight for me, by the way, is...
What a fight.
I am, and this is without any exaggeration, I am just as much looking forward to watch that fight as I am the main event. How about that, Matt Lenihan? I am. I promise you. That's one of the best fights you can make in British boxing. Huge credit to everyone involved making that fight, by the way. Managers on both sides, trainers on both sides, promoters. Fucking brilliant fight. Credit to both young men. McCann against Dennis McCann against Peter McGrail is a headline fight. Not saying it sells again 30,000 tickets, but it's a headline contest. That is a headline fight, right? There's another one. Sergey Bokochuk, I've spent time with in camp in Big Bear when Abel Sanchez was training him. Let me tell you now, when he used to spar against Golovkin, and it was just balls to the floor, and have it. Him against Madrimov is a main event fight, whether it's in Uzbekistan or wherever the fuck you do it in the world. It's a main event fight. It's a main event fight. What other ones have I missed on here? I think that's all of them, isn't it?
I think you've covered them all without me looking at my phone.
And then the main event itself is the pay-per-view, by the way. You buy the pay-per-view for the main event, so you get that undercard as well. All these people that are moaning, you're not real boxing fans if you moan about a card like this, or you're spoiled.
When you think 24 months prior, if that would have been offered, and you'd have bitten someone's hand off for it, wouldn't you?
20 quid. And like, we grew up, well, I grew up in an era where the main event and was it, and then the undercard, it is what it is, basically. Yeah. And we've been brought up like Floyd Mayweather undercards. If you remember Floyd Mayweather undercards...
You wait till the main event.
I used to turn on the TV 10 minutes before Floyd used to ring walk because of the main events. So over the years, we've been like deprived of like amazing undercards to basically so the promoters can pay for the main events, and rightfully so. This main event, this card, every fight is something. If you are a real boxing fan, you would tune in and watch each fight as a main event.
Last one from me. Does Tyson Fury beat Oleksandr Usyk? And what is to happen next for Anthony Joshua? What should happen next?
So the first one with Tyson Fury, I want him to. I hope he does. I've got so much time for Tyson. I'd love him to win. I think he starts this time as the underdog. But do I think Tyson Fury can win? 100% I do. I really do believe that. And as I say, I really would love him to get the job done. And if Anthony Joshua can rematch Dubois and I live in that world where I want to see Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua, but that's just me speaking as a fanboy. But Usyk will go into that fight as the favourite. Anthony Joshua, what would you ask me? What is he going to do next?
What happens with next? Because we're hearing
the rematch.
Is that wise?
It's not about what's wise. I think at 35, Anthony Joshua is now. Anthony Joshua don't want to come back and start having.
Can you wait and see what happens with Usyk-Fury, then go into that?
Anthony Joshua, the competitor in him. You imagine, right? Anthony Joshua has hundreds of millions, right? I don't think that's an exaggeration either. No. Hundreds of millions of pounds in the bank, right? He doesn't need to box. He's not needed to box for years. The competitor in him will want to get his revenge back on Daniel Dubois because he believes he can beat Daniel Dubois. His coaching team believes he can beat Daniel Dubois. So the competitor in Anthony Joshua is telling him, I've got to get this. I've got to get revenge. And if I can't beat Daniel Dubois, it's probably curtains.
Well, look, it's an interesting few months ahead. How it all
really looking forward
how it all
to
goes.
the end of the year. Got big nights for my stable. Two wonderful, really wonderful fighter announcements. Signing announcements. I've got Jack against Regis Prograis. I've got Cameron against Gavin Gwynne. Dan Toward's fighting again soon. Hamzah Uddin against Ben Norman. Conor Walker against Lewis Ritson. Johnny Fisher against Dave Allen. Oh, it's all happening, isn't it? So this is what I live for.
Sam, as always, appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you at these fights, and we catch up soon.
Thank you, mate.